I've been trading for 7 years and I've made millions from the market itself. And on top of that, I've also spent the past 7 years studying thousands of professional traders. And what I've learned is that the difference between an unprofitable trader and a professional trader is not just strategy. It's how they think. Unprofitable traders think in outcomes and professional traders think in systems. A lot of beginners think that millionaire traders have some secret trading strategy, but the real difference is not just the setup. It's the way they think before, during, and after they trade. So in this video, I'm going to break down the mental models that separate traders who keep on blowing their accounts from traders who can generate consistent returns. The first difference between professional traders and unprofitable traders is their mindset. It's the way they think when they are trading. Unprofitable traders have an outcome-oriented mindset, which means that they are only fixated on the amount of money they can potentially make on any given trade. Profitable traders have a process-oriented mindset, where they are thinking not just in P&L terms, but whether they actually followed their trade plan or not. So that's the first mindset shift I want you guys to adopt. So if you want to get the results of a professional trader, which is aka consistent profits, you need to learn how to think like one. So you need to shift from an outcome-oriented mindset to a process-oriented mindset. So that is how I approach my day-to-day right now. I'm not thinking about, oh, did I end today positive? I mean, if I did, that's great. But more often than not, I'm thinking about, did I follow my trading plan today? Did I improve myself today? Right? I'm focusing on how can I actually get better every single day? How can I make these tiny improvements that will compound over time, that will give me massive returns in the long run? A beginner can make money on a bad trade. A professional trader can lose money on a good trade. The difference is whether the process is repeatable. So once again, I need you guys to shift your mindset from thinking in P&L terms, like how can I make as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time while putting in the least amount of effort possible, to a process-oriented mindset. How can I actually become a skilled trader every single day? How can I get better at this skill set, right? So that eventually I can make money consistently. How can I gather more data so I can improve my trading strategy, improve my trading plan, so that in the future I can make consistent returns, right? So this paradigm shift fundamentally changed the way that I trade, and it absolutely changed my trading results. And the funny thing is, when you stop obsessing over the money, when you stop obsessing over the outcome, now you are raising your vibrational frequency, and now you are more likely to attract the money, right? Because as the saying goes, whatever you chase runs away. The reason why you are chasing it is because you don't have it right now. So if you don't have it right now and you are chasing it, by that definition, you have literally just created a separation between you and consistency, you and the dollars, right? But when you adopt the identity that you are a professional trader, you start to think, act, and feel like a professional trader, you start doing the actions of a professional trader every single day, then guess what? Now you are able to attract the money rather than chase it. Now, the next difference is that unprofitable traders try to predict the market, while profitable traders prepare for the market. A lot of beginners have this misconception that trading is all about predicting what price will do next, predicting whether the next candle is bullish or bearish, predicting when the stock market is going to crash, predicting where's the top and bottom of the market itself. But the thing is, we ain't fortune tellers, we ain't psychic, we ain't magicians, right? We cannot predict with 100% certainty what's going to happen next. And the truth is, you don't need to, right? You don't need to be able to predict what's going to happen next in order to make money in this game. All you gotta do is to prepare. All you gotta do is to prepare yourself so that when the opportunity comes into the market, you are there to seize it. And that's how I define luck. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. When you prepare, you do your chart markups, right? You do your analysis, you do your research, and you decide that, hey, I'm going to enter for a buy according to my research. And then later on, the trade idea turns out to be correct, turns out to be valid, the market tends to go up, and guess what? You get rewarded for it. In this case, you didn't got rewarded because you were trying to predict the market. You got rewarded because you have done your preparation, you have done your analysis, you have done your research. And yeah, that's just how the market is. Like, just think about it. Imagine you are the market right now, right? Let's just imagine that the market is a living, breathing an organism, which I believe it is. If you are the market, if you're like this higher power, who would you reward? Would you reward the guy who is trying to gamble their life savings, trying to predict and bet everything on buy or sell, bet everything on red or black? Or would you reward the guy who have done his preparation, done his hard work to do what's necessary in order for him to develop a trade idea, to develop a trade bias, and then can just surrender to the market, right? Surrender the outcome to the market and is completely detached from the trade outcome. If you are the market, who are you going to reward? Are you going to reward the unprofitable trader or the profitable trader? Obviously the profitable trader, right? Like, yeah, that's just common sense. So understand that professionals do not need to predict every single move, okay? No prediction, no, like poly market betting or like sports betting here. No, it's not about predicting. It's about preparing, doing your chart markups, doing your analysis, doing your own due diligence, checking all the high impact economic news, doing your fundamental analysis, technical analysis, sentiment analysis to figure out where is price most likely going to go next, and then positioning yourself on the right move before it actually happens. That's what trading is about. The next difference is something that I've learned the hard way, and that is unprofitable traders focus on quantity, while professional traders, profitable traders focus on quality. Unprofitable traders think that, hey, if I just take 5 trades in a day, I will automatically make a lot more money compared to if I just take 1 trade a day. Anyways, after all, isn't it just a numbers game? So if I take 10 trades a day, maybe 9 out of those 10 trades will win. Well, that's a flawed mindset. And believe me, because I was in your exact position in my first year of trading as well. In my first year of trading, I would take up to 5 to 10 trades a day. Not a month, not a week, but a day. Right, and as a result, I will convince myself that, hey, the more bullets you shoot, the more likely one of them is gonna hit. But then that's counterproductive, because what I've realized is that the more trades you take, right, the more stupid mistakes you make. Okay, the more stupid mistakes you make. Right, let's be honest. What tends to happen is that you take one good trade at the start of the day, and then you might win or you might lose, whatever, and then you take another trade, and that second trade is not as efficient as the first trade. Like, what I basically mean by that is that the second trade, when you take the second trade, your energy level is, let's say, at like 75%. And then when you take the first trade, your energy level was at 100%, because it requires a lot of willpower, a lot of energy to actually plan a trade properly, right? So trade 1, your energy level is at 100%. Trade 2, your energy level is at 75%. And trade 3, your energy level will be like, let's say 40%. And then by your 10th trade, your energy level is like, let's say 10%. Okay? So what happened is that the more you trade, the more depleted your brain power is. Your mental capacity just start diminishing because you are making so many decisions. That is why nowadays I only take trades that are worth my financial capital, my emotional capital, and my intellectual capital. This is something that I've learned from professional traders, right? They only take trades where it's worth it. So instead of thinking of how can I take more trades, think about how can I take more good trades. Okay, how can I ensure that I'm focusing on quality rather than quantity? How can I trade like a sniper rather than like a machine gun? Right? So yeah, just make this one shift alone, and trust me, you will take a lot less trades. And when you take a lot less trades, you lose less frequently, and guess what? You make more money. Right? It's just mathematics. The next difference is that unprofitable traders focus on winning, while profitable traders focus on surviving. There's this famous quote by Warren Buffett which he said, rule number 1 is don't lose money. Rule number 2 is don't forget rule number 1. Now, think about what he meant by that. Notice how he didn't say, rule number 1 is to make a lot of money. Rule number 2 is to don't forget rule number 1. No, he said, rule number 1 is don't lose money. So before you can think about thriving in the market, you have to think about how to survive. Before you can think about making money in the market, you must think about how not to lose money. Because capital preservation is the name of the game. Think about it. You need capital in order to trade. Capital is essentially oxygen to a trader. So if you run out of oxygen, you can't breathe. And by that definition, you will get eliminated out of the game. So capital is really the most important thing ever. So your job as a trader is not to make money. Your job first is to stay in the game, right? Stay alive. Because when you can stay alive in this game, you will last long enough for you to actually take the setups that are actually worth it, that will actually pay you. But the mistake here is that a lot of traders that are so obsessed over trying to win that they allocate their capital into low probability setups. They start taking trades that they shouldn't be taking, they force trade, they over trade, they revenge trade, they chase trade. And when you commit all of these mistakes, you are just wasting your capital on a setup that just doesn't pay you, right? Rather than actually saving that capital for you to later on deploy to setups that actually pay you. So that's the fundamental difference between unprofitable traders and profitable traders. Profitable traders, they ain't thinking about winning first. They are thinking about how not to lose the money they have. Because they know that every single dollar they have in a trading account can be allocated into an opportunity that will actually allow them to grow that trading account rather than deplete that trading account. So as a result, they are perfectly fine with not trading for the day. They are very patient and they're able to just wait for the right opportunity, wait for the high probability setups, wait for the A+ setups, and then deploy their capital. That's how they trade. Now, another big difference between unprofitable traders and profitable trader is that unprofitable trader rely on their feelings, while profitable trader relies on rules. Unprofitable trader goes like this when they are trading. Price is going up, so I guess I should buy. Oh, I feel like buying right now because the traffic light is freaking green, right? So it's like, oh, I feel like, it's like they always start with I feel. But then that's a lie because it's not really a gut feeling that they should be dependent on since they haven't played this game long enough for them to develop this gut feeling, develop this intuition that they can trust. So as a result, their gut feeling is just their emotions, right? It's just their emotions in disguise. So yeah, that is definitely not the guy that you want to listen to. While profitable traders, professional traders rely on mechanical rules. Instead of asking, what do I feel about the market right now? They think about, is this setup aligned with my trade plan? Does this meet my entry criteria? If it does, I execute. If it doesn't, I stay out. As simple as that. They have if-then statements. Like if this happens, then Y happens, right? So if price creates a morning star candlestick pattern, then I will enter for a buy. If price is situated at my point of interest and swap liquidity, then I will buy. If price is not at my point of interest, then I will stay out, right? So having these if-then statements allow your strategy to be mechanical, methodical, and what is simple and mechanical is scalable and is profitable, right? So having these if-then statements, having rules in your system, having a proper framework just allows you to eliminate emotion from the equation, just allows you to be grounded in logic and just trade objectively rather than trading your mental well-being, trading your emotions, trading your greed, trading your ego, trading your fear, right? Now you can actually see the market for what it is. The next difference is that unprofitable traders rely on motivation, while profitable traders rely on environment. So a lot of unprofitable traders thinking that they are going to be disciplined when they feel like it. When they are inspired to be disciplined, then they will follow their trading plan. And that's relying on motivation, which is very fleeting, right? Some days you have motivation, some days you don't. And on those days where you have motivation, you can be disciplined and all that shit. But on those other days where you don't have discipline, what do? You just be undisciplined. And when you are inconsistent with your actions, because some days you have motivation, some days you don't, guess what? Your results are going to be inconsistent. While profitable traders, they do not rely on willpower or motivation. They build environments that make bad decisions harder. So they put themselves in situations where they cannot self-sabotage, where they have to be disciplined, not because they want to, but because they have to. And that's the power of environment. Because when you can trade in an environment that is conducive for you, right? That's allowing you, that's forcing you to take the right actions every single day. Now, once again, you are more likely to act like a professional trader, which means you are more likely to get the results of one. And this is the exact reason why I built EdgeFlo, the world's first disciplined, focused trading super app. Like most traders know what they're supposed to do. They should follow their trading plan, they should journal their trade, they should review their trades, they should, stop trading after hitting their max daily loss target, but they just don't do it, right? It's like they know what to do, they just don't do it. So if you know what to do and you end up not doing it, it's the same as not knowing at all, right? So just think about how true that is. If you know what to do, but you don't do it, it's pretty much the same as being ignorant, right? It's because you didn't change your behavior. And also sometimes emotion tends to take over. Like when you start losing a trade, you start getting involved in a losing streak or even in a winning streak, emotion like fear and greed starts taking control, and that affects your decision making. So EdgeFlo is built to turn professional trading behavior into a system. With guardrails, with features that allow you to plan your trade with your plan, journal your trade, review your trading data, review your trading performance, so that you can actually improve, so that you can actually act on a daily basis just like a professional trader. So you are no longer relying on willpower or motivation that is simply fitting. Now discipline is actually built into your system. You don't have to rely on this motivation that comes in the middle of nowhere. The next difference is that unprofitable traders judge their trading performance by the outcome of one trade, while profitable traders judge their trading process, their trading performance over a large sample size, like 100 trades or even 500 trades, right? So it's like pretty much a very, very large sample size. Now, how many times have you sulked over a bad trade? How many times have you caught yourself thinking that, oh, I'm a bad trader, oh, my trading strategy sucks, it doesn't work, oh, trading is a scam, when you have lost a trade? That's because of recency bias, right? Which is a psychological phenomenon which allows you to just focus on what is happening recently, right? So that is why if you lose a trade, you feel like shit. If you win a trade, you feel excited, you feel bliss, you feel like you're on top of the world. It's all because of this thing right here, right? Which I call the one trade phenomenon. But that's not how you should be measuring your trading performance. Instead, what you should be doing is to measure trading performance over a large sample size, right? So until you have taken and reviewed 100 trades, you don't have sufficient data to prove that your trading strategy is working or it's not working, right? So you gotta do more. You gotta put in more reps. That's the power of, analyzing your data, analyzing your strategy based on a large sample size. Another difference is that unprofitable traders trade their ego, while profitable traders treat every single trade as feedback, right? Unprofitable traders take everything personally. They're like, oh my God, I lose. The market must hate me. But guess what, buddy? The market doesn't give a shit about your opinion. It doesn't even know who you are. The market by itself is objective. It's your belief about the market that is subjective. It's your perception of the market that is subjective. right? So yeah, stop thinking that, hey, smart money purposely move price in a certain manner so that it can target your stop loss. No, you're not that important, all right? That's simply your ego speaking. What you want to do is to just treat every single trade, whether there's a win or a loss, as feedback, all right? So if it's a loss, think about what you can do to improve your strategy to prevent yourself from making the same mistake again in the future. If it's a win, then you can think about, like how can you repeat that win in the future? What is the behavior that you need to reinforce to ensure that you are able to catch the same trade, right? The same quality of trade. So yeah, ego versus feedback, right? If you treat every single trade as feedback, you cannot lose, right? This is where you know that the more trades you take, the more feedback you gather, right? The more you know yourself, the more you know your strategy, and the easier it is for you to become profitable. Now, another big difference is that unprofitable traders review their P&L, while profitable traders review their behavior. Because behavior is the thing that they have 100% control over, right? They look at everything from a behavioral standpoint. What is the behavior that the market has rewarded, right? i.e., when I follow my trading plan, when I journal my trade, when I actually take the time out to review my trade, all of these are actions, all of these are behavior that the market will reward. Compared to revenge trading, chasing trade, over trading, all of these are the behavior that the market will punish. So if I can just do more of the behavior that the market will reward, then by the definition, I will get more rewards from the market. I will get more profits from the market. But on the other hand, unprofitable traders is only obsessed over the one thing that they cannot control. Like their emotional well-being is tied to this one thing, and that is their P&L. So if their P&L is up, they are happy. If their P&L is down, they are sad. And once again, P&L you have absolutely no control over. What you do have control over is the set of actions that you take on a daily basis. And that is the one thing that will actually make you profitable. And that is your behavior. The last difference between unprofitable traders and profitable traders is the way they manage their risks. When unprofitable traders are confident, they feel this urge to size up. I'm just gonna size up because I have so much confidence, I have balls deep conviction that price is gonna go up. So I'm gonna go all in, right? I'm gonna bet my entire account on this one trade. But profitable traders know that anything can happen. They know that at the end of the day, every single trade is still a coin flip. It's still 50-50. No matter how much confluences they have, no matter how confident they are, they will never ever size up their risk, right? So there are some traders who do size up, right? For example, if it's an A+ setup, they take 2% instead of 1%, which is what they usually allocate for normal A setups. But I'm talking about certain profitable traders like myself, who is very mechanical when it comes to the way that we manage our risk, because we accept the fact that anything can happen at any given moment. So profitable traders, they remain neutral, right? They continue risking the same amount of trade. The same amount of money on any given trade, right? They know that anything can happen, I'm just gonna continue risking 1%, 1%, 1%. While unprofitable traders is like, okay, I feel like, sizing up, so I'm gonna risk 3%. Oh, this next trade seems very good, right? All the stars in the universe is lined up for me. I'm just gonna bet all my account on it. And when you do this, all it takes is one loss to wipe you out, right? All thanks to your greed, right? All thanks to the little bubble that you're living in. So those are the differences between unprofitable traders and profitable traders. I really believe that the only difference between these two groups of traders is the way they think and their behavior. So by that definition, if you're able to change the way you think, the way you act, the way you feel, you will get the results that you desire, right? So if you can think like a professional trader, having like a process-oriented mindset rather than an outcome-oriented mindset, you can act like a professional trader, i.e. following your trading plan, journaling, reviewing your trading performance, meditating, all of these things you can do inside EdgeFlo, wink wink, and you can feel like a professional trader, right? You do the inner work. You don't just focus on the technical analysis, but you also focus on rewiring your mind, reprogramming your belief system. Then you will change your results. right? Because when you change the way you think, act, and feel, you change your identity. Now you're no longer labeling yourself as an unprofitable trader. Now you are a professional trader. You walk like one, you speak like one, you act like one, you feel like one. And next thing you know, you actually become the professional trader. You actually get the results that you've been dreaming of. You actually are able to manifest the dream life that you have been dreaming all this time around. Not by focusing on the house or the car or the money or the lifestyle or the freedom that comes with trading, but by focusing on the skill set, but by changing the inner operating system, by changing your mindset, by changing your daily actions, by changing your subconscious belief, by changing everything that you know about trading, right? So to me, I really believe that to become profitable at trading, it's less about learning new stuff. It's more about deleting the information that just doesn't serve you. It's more about forgetting the stuff that don't serve you and just start learning new stuff that actually matters. And all of these stuff are just stuff that I've learned for the past 7 years. And after starting thousands and thousands of traders out there, professional traders as well. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video right here, you would 100% love my free playlist right here, where I teach you how to trade like a professional trader in 33 days, where I literally mentor you for free. And yeah, go and check that out, because by the end of those 33 days, you will start to move like a professional trader and start getting amazing results. And with that being said, remember, you're just one trade away.